Alright, so today I'm going to bring you along with me as I build our new vegetable garden, raised bed, whatever you want to call it. We're going to use some 2x8s pressure treated. I was thinking about cedar versus pressure treated. This pressure treated was about 13 bucks for a 12 foot versus about $25-$30 for the cedar, and I couldn't readily get the cedar that I was looking for in town locally, so I went ahead and went with this pressure treated. We used this before in our last house. If you see my videos, I'm not against pressure treated like some are. It doesn't have as the chemicals like it did back in the day. But let me show you what I'm going to get going over here as far as building our vegetable garden bed. Alright, so here's our backyard. We're going to come back against this house here. This is where a majority of the sun is beaming all day. I kind of marked out somewhat where I'm going to put the bed, and this is 3 feet wide right now, and then this mark here is about 4 feet from the house. 4 feet is a little bit long to be stretching in here to reach all the way in. So, and I didn't really like the 3 feet. It seemed a little bit small, so I'm going to go with in between 3.5 feet wide. Here is my plan. We're going to go all the way down. This is going to be our bed, and we're going to go around this side of the house as well and make a bed here. And I'm going to leave this at 3 feet because I'm eventually going to, over here, we're going to have to rip out the cement is what I'm feeling. What I'm going to do eventually. This will down the road, but for now we're going to do this bed here, and that is what it's going to look like. And then I've got 2 downspouts that I'm going to show you as well how I'm going to work with those, because I don't want all that water rushing into our vegetable garden. So we're going to extend that out past the garden here, and it'll wash out into our yard. So we don't want all that water running in here. Let me show you the wood that I'm going to use. Alright, so here's our wood. First of all, we're going to build out of, these are 2x8s, 12 feet long. These are ground contact rated pressure treated wood. If you saw our last house, we did use pressure treated wood. It wasn't rated for ground contact way back in those days when I built it. It was about 8 years ago maybe. And it was just starting to rot out. Some of the wood needed to be replaced when we sold our house. But so I'm going to go ahead and use this pressure treated. This is ground contact pressure treated wood. So make sure if you use pressure treated, it is for ground contact. As you can see, that's going to be the bed frame. And then I got this board here on clearance. They mark it at Home Depot. Little markers usually right here. As you can see, this is a 2x3 pressure treated. I'm going to use this in the corners. My last house we did about a 2x2 in the corners, but I didn't want to have to buy a 2x2 piece of wood, so I went with this scrap wood. And we're going to hammer this in the ground somewhat, and also this will give us something to screw in the corners to with, just to give a little extra support. This isn't really necessarily needed, but I'm going to go ahead and do that just to give us a little more corner support around the sides. And I decided to go with a little top cap on our garden bed as well. So what I did, I just got this is a 2x4 pressure treated, and that's going to run along the top, lay it on top of this 2x8. So it'll look nice, and it'll also go with the style of our fence we just had put up not too long ago. Alright, so let me show you how I'm going to put this together. Alright, so you can see this is going to be for the corner where we're going to attach the corners together. We're going to nail this in the ground, put a little point on it. As you can see, this is why it was on clearance. It's all tore up, but this is going in the ground, and this was dirt cheap in the clearance pile. So this is what I'm going to use for the corners. Alright, so this board I'm going to measure 3.5 feet. That's going to be our board that comes from the house out to the edge of the front of the garden. Alright, so this is how I'm setting up my saw here. I got it at a 45-degree angle. This is going to be where we join the corners together. Here is my line, and you probably can't see it on the camera, but there is a little, I have a little laser here, and I can barely see it in the sunlight here. So that makes it really easy to know where you're cutting with this saw I have. But so let's get this cut here. Alright, so that is where that piece of wood is going, right there. And we'll do the same thing with the next board, put it at 45-degree angle, and we'll run it down. Alright, so I got all the wood cut, 45-degree angles, all the way down, semi laid out. Come around the side and show you what I got here. Got them all laid out, got all the angles the right direction. Come down this side. I just need to cut the length on the end board there once I get around to screwing them in. But this is, I want to show you the screws I'm going to use. I've used a different screw the last time. It was an exterior coated screw. But I found these are for treated lumber exterior screws. And it says no pre-drilling in wood. So I was like, well, that's pretty nice. I like this. I'm going to try these out. So I've never used these before, but these are the screws that I am going to be using. And it's got a special T-star bit. It's a T20 bit. So it's a special bit, if you can see that on the top of that screw there, star bit to screw it in. So that's what I'm going to use to join our boards together with. Alright, so it's nice and flat on top, so we can lay our top cap that we're going to do. And I put 2 on this side, and I went 1 on this side here. So that's coming that way, and that's going that way. I think that's going to hold pretty good. Those screws are really nice actually, because I had really trouble the first time around when I built that wood. They were really hard to screw in. That pressure treated. These screws did really well. I really like these screws. It was very easy to do with this green pressure treated wood. So I got a first seam. Looks really good. Alright, so as you can see, I got that corner joined. I just need to join these 2 pieces together. I got this corner joined, turned out really great. And then I need to cut the length on this one, and we're going to join these 2 pieces together. And then we'll level it up and get it put in place. Alright, so we had a 30% chance of rain, and as you can see, it started raining. I wanted to come out here during the rain and show y'all what I got to do next. I'm almost done framing up this garden bed, but as you can see here, I got the gutters, right? And they're going to pour into our flower bed, or vegetable bed, or whatever you want to call it. And so I'm going to extend this out through the wood here. I'm going to cut a little hole and have the water go past the vegetable garden, because I have one here and at the other end over here, and we most definitely don't want our vegetables being washed away from all the rain coming off the roof. So it's almost done raining. Look, a little short shower. I just gotta stake in my stake here in the ground in the corner and cut this one to length, and then that side will be done. Alright, so change of plans on our little top cap for our garden. This is a 2x6 I'm going to go with now for the top cap. What I grabbed over here, these are 2x4s. They're a little too small for the way I want it to look, so I'm going to return these and go with the 2x6. Alright, we got the garden bed all framed up. I didn't really show you all I did is on the 2x6, I just screwed in the top here, just laid it on top, did a 45-degree angle in the corners, and yeah, put it down the side here. So next, my problem I got to put in here is diverters for the garden, the downspouts for the gutters, and so I'm gonna put that down, and it's gonna go under the soil and extend through here. And we're going to make a little hole here so we can let it go past the garden, so we don't flood the garden when it rains. So I got a little project there for the gutters to do still. And well, what I'm using, actually, let me show you since I got it here out. This is actually, it says vinyl. It's not going to crush or dent or rust. This is going to be going under the ground. I didn't want to get the metal aluminum like I have on the house, because I would easily hit it with a shovel or smash it with the soil on top or something. So this is what I'm going with for the gutter as far as that goes. And then I've got a couple of sprinkler heads that I need to raise up out of the ground. And let me show you the side that we did. Here's the side of the garden down on the other side of the house here that we have. So I got a couple of sprinklers here and two over here that I've got to raise up, because we're going to add soil. I just went and picked up the soil, some veggie mix, and so I'm going to add these. These are a 12-inch sprinkler sprayer, and so I got to install that and get that in the ground there. So let me walk over to my truck. I just picked this up. Show you what I picked up here. I went to Living Earth here in this was actually picked up in Rockwall, but this is the soil that I am going to use. This is their veggie garden mix. Okay, let me show you. This is the little pamphlet they give you here, and let me come up close so you can see it. This is a blend of compost, loam, sand, aged mulch, expanded shell, and Texas Greensand. So this is everything that I would put in my garden, and I've used this before in the last house when we did a flower bed, actually. But we're gonna use this for our vegetable garden. And the still, I would add. I'm gonna add some cotton burr compost, and you do need to still fertilize your plants, even though you got this veggie garden mix. So this has expanded shell. Let's see if you can see here on the top. These little rocks here is the expanded shell that I was talking about in the last video. So it's got sand, compost, Greensand. It's got all the good stuff. So this is what we're going to use in our vegetable garden bed. Alright, real quick here. Some of y'all may be wondering, if you don't have clay soil or wondering what clay soil is, let me show you what we got to deal with here in North Texas. This is our soil. It is like clay, literally. You can form it any way you want it. and we're trying to grow vegetables in this cement stuff. It's clay, that's why we call it clay soil. So you have to heavily amend your soil here. As you can see, this is what clay soil is, in case you're wondering. If you have clay soil, or maybe you're in an area where you don't have clay soil and wonder what all the fuss is about, well, this is clay soil, and we're trying to get the plants and roots to thrive in this stuff. So yes, we have to amend our soil. So that's what I'm working with here. Alright, so that's all for me today. Hopefully this helped you, give you some ideas on how to maybe build your own raised bed or frame out your vegetable garden. I'm gonna get here and finish a few more projects, and hopefully the next time I see you, we'll have all the soil added and sprinklers on and our gutter diverters in place so we can start planting, because it's almost time to start planting here for us in Garland now. So leave your comments down below. Let me know if you have any questions and what you would like to see in upcoming videos. So make it a great day.